All right, welcome back into your daily dose of reality radio. This is the Clay Edwards Show. I am, of course, Clay Edwards. We're live here in the Mac Hike of Flowood, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram Studios on 103.9 WYAB, stimulating talk radio. Hey, this segment is going to be brought to you by our good friends over at Mac Hike of Flowood. Hey, look, we just spent that whole first hour talking about car dealerships and car manufacturers and our state legislature and all that stuff. But let me tell you what, some of the good guys are over there at Mac Hike of Flowood. They're going to take care of you. You're going to get your best deal on a new vehicle, and you're not going to get shackled with a ridiculously overpriced vehicle unless you so decide to. But look, go check them out. They got up to here, this should be your dead giveaway that there's some good deals to be had over there. They got up to $15,000 off MSRP. That not $15,000 added to MSRP. That should tell you all you need to know. Get over there to Mac Hike and get out from under that big car note you picked up. That big, you're probably upside down if you bought something in 2021 or so. Here's a chance to get out from under it, get an affordable note, and get that negative equity gone. That's Mac Hike of Flowood, home of the $399 car payment, home of the in and out in 1 hour once you've picked your vehicle out. Promise. Go see Corey McDonald and the team today. Mac Hike of Flowood, located on Lakeland Drive at Airport Road. And, of course, you can shop them online at MacHikeCDJRF.com. Or just go Google Mac Hike Flowood. It'll take you straight to their website. All right, so I'm really excited about this. You guys that listen to my show on a regular basis know I have been championing, been a big cheerleader. I can say that word. I've been a big cheerleader for testosterone replacement therapy. I've about 8 weeks into it myself, give or take. No, about 6 weeks. About 6 weeks into it myself, I have seen life-changing differences in my sleep, my attitude, my motivation, my libido, everything. And I have got the man that is assisting me with that journey, Mr. Scott McCullough, with the men's. What's the technical name of the place?
It's called Men's Health of Mississippi.
Men's Health of Mississippi. I'll keep wanting to throw a clinic in there. Men's Health of Mississippi, or Man Up.
Yeah, Man Up MD.
Man Up MD. And there's also a Women's Up MD?
Yeah, so in our same building, we've got kind of a mirror image of what we do, but for women, called Women's Wellness in Mississippi.
I've got a friend that got the women's testosterone pellets in there, and I know she's really enjoyed that too. Feeling better. Same thing. But today we're going to talk about men's stuff. That's your department. And women, I can't recommend it enough. It is still something. Don't believe everything you hear about testosterone like it's going to turn you into a manly woman or anything like that. It can help you with your depression, your anxiety, your energy, your libido, the whole 9 yards, without packing on a bunch of unwanted muscle.
Oh no, there. Women that get on therapy typically won't pack on muscle. They just kind of improves their mood and attitude and
energy levels and all that.
Tons more energy.
So, Scott, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I'm a nurse practitioner. I work with Dr. Michael Walker at Men's Health in Mississippi, and that's what I do is testosterone therapy.
And look, man, in our 30, 45-minute sit-down that I had the first day I went over there, I left there with a new appreciation for it and just a better understanding of what to expect, the timeline to expect it on, and all that. And, of course, I found out you guys do all kind of stuff there. And so not just testosterone replacement. It is a wellness clinic.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do, regular primary care, sick visits, chronic management, hypertension, all that type of stuff.
So, like I told you, I had gout. You're like, oh, we can take care of that.
Oh, yeah. I get a ton of gout.
Just gout. If I get a sinus infection, I can get with you guys instead of having to go to go to MEA or something like that. So good stuff there. All right, testosterone replacement. Like I said, I'm about 6 weeks in. Within 10 days, I started feeling better. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think by that second shot I got in, first thing I noticed was my afternoon anxiety had faded a lot. Like by the end of the day, I was wound up tight.
Oh yeah,
and
it'll calm you down.
It's weird. It calms you down, but it gives you more energy. So. I think we're all such caffeine addicts that we associate energy with being wound up.
Right.
This is not that, man. Just at the end of the day, I'm not tired. I actually am motivated to do my workout. Mm-hmm. I'm sleeping better. I don't know if I'm sleeping better because I'm working out and exhausting that energy, or if it's something about the testosterone that's truly helping me sleep better. But that's one of the things I see on a lot a lot of the forums and the videos I've watched is the improved sleep. Last night, for example, I lay down at 10:30. I did not crack my eyes open until my alarm went off this morning at 5:30.
That's awesome. Yeah. Getting on testosterone therapy, a lot of people will report improved sleep. It's not indicated for sleep, but just the sense of well-being and the energy throughout the day. At nighttime, you just feel better and you feel better about yourself. So you tend to sleep better.
So what are some, because the point in today is I want to get people that aren't already on it. I want to get people to say, okay, maybe I'm a candidate for this. Maybe this is that missing link. I'm just kind of existing right now. I get up, I go to work, I'm blah. I've been married for a while. My sex drive is gone, my libido. Who is a candidate? What are some signs people that Joe Smith out there today should be looking for that may be on the fence about testosterone replacement?
Yeah, so, people, guys, girls, mainly men that are just, they don't have as much energy as they did when they were in their 20s or 30s. Their libido isn't the same as it was. They feel a crash toward the end of the day. It could be low testosterone. It's definitely something to get, to think about getting checked out.
Yeah, so the thing to do is, of course, we're not giving any medical advice per se here today, just recommendations, but you need to start with going and seeing your physician or come out there to Men's Health Mississippi and get the blood work done. Yeah. Fine. That's what I did. I went in, got my blood work done. They just because you want it don't mean you're going to get it.
Oh, no. You got to qualify, and, there's guidelines and regulations.
Yeah, so go out there, get your blood work done. What are some of the things you look for in blood work?
Well, with us being a primary care clinic as well, we do a full panel. So liver, kidneys, cholesterol, all that type of stuff. Whenever we're doing blood work specifically for just testosterone therapy, we, of course, check the blood count, the testosterone levels, estrogen levels, the PSA, which is the prostate levels. Those are the big ones that we look at.
So one of the things, well, let me stay on subject here, and I'll move to the estrogen thing in a minute. Like for me, I'm an open book here. My levels were around 456, I think, on my testosterone, which is low. I think I need to be around 800 or so is kind of the goal, if not higher, I guess. But and I know how I felt. Frankly, I didn't think I felt that bad, but now I realize after 6-7 weeks of doing it, how much better I feel. Like, man, I was really just.
Yeah, I mean, when you're young, your testosterone levels typically are fairly high, and they gradually decrease as you get older. Well, whenever you start on therapy, you start to realize how bad you actually felt.
Yep. So some of the signs to look out for when you're wondering, people go back to the libido thing, and that's your sex drive at the end of the day. I heard if you got kids in the car, are going to be kind of sexually suggestive here for a second, so you may want to change the channel here in about 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. One of the things I've heard to look out for is that, if as a man, if you're waking up every day without the morning wood, they say, if you're realizing that less and less and less of the morning wood, that may be a sign of low testosterone.
It is. Men typically are supposed to wake up with an erection up until, it varies, but late in life. And that's one of the first symptoms of low testosterone.
Yeah, I know that's an awkward conversation to have on the radio in the mornings. But, hey, it's mornings. You probably haven't been awake long, so you know what condition you woke up in or not.
That's true.
And, so I was kind of surprised to hear that because I had not actually heard it that descriptive until I was listening to a podcast on the way in this morning. I said, that I should have paid attention to that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's something you don't think about because, as you're younger and, your libido is really high, and as you get older, your libido goes down and you just don't wake up with the erections anymore.
Interesting. So there's a simple sign to look out for right there. So one of the myths, and I consider this a myth anyway, is if you do testosterone, you're going to grow man tits.
Oh, no.
And the study I read said that is such a rare occurrence.
Right. Doing testosterone replacement therapy, the testosterone levels get to the upper limits of normal to the mid limits of normal. And keeping your testosterone levels within normal range. Your estrogen levels can definitely increase, but going to a physician to get your testosterone, we check your estrogen levels, and we make sure that you won't grow or get gynecomastia.
Yeah, and that's the technical name for it. And I mean, I know that I did get some estrogen pills, I guess, or blocker, or something or another to balance out. And you said you'll know when it's time, if you need them or not. There'll be tenderness or something like that.
Yeah, men will get nipple tenderness, or they'll itch. And there's always really early signs of that can be monitored and fixed.
Gotcha. All right, let's take a break real quick. Come back. Hey, if you guys, I know I haven't been on top of the Guns and Gear text line this morning. I had Steven in the studio. We were just going too hard to read the text. But if you got any questions for Scott McCullough here about testosterone replacement or anything else in that vein, shoot a text into the Guns and Gear text line, 769-241-1944. If you want to call in, 601-879-0002. I just ask that you stay on topic this morning while we have the guests in the studio. We'll be right back on 103.9 WYAB. Breaking rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show, live here in the Mac Hike of Flowood Studios. This segment is going to be brought to you by our friends over there at Gracie South Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing. You know, a little tangent here. There's a war on manhood in America right now. There's a war on masculinity in America right now. And that's why I'm pushing this testosterone replacement hard. I want you to get your manhood back. And another great way to get your manhood back is to learn how to fight. Get out there and go roll on those mats. Learn how to defend yourself. Get in shape. Gracie South Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing is a great place to get that started at. And look, first week, free. After that, if you tell them you heard it on this show, the Clay Edwards Show, they're going to give you 20% off your rate over there. So it pays to be a Clay Edwards Show listener. Here's some things they offer at Gracie South Jiu-Jitsu and Kickboxing. Of course, they have adult jiu-jitsu classes taught under Hoist Gracie Black Belt, my friend and yours, Chance Shepard. They have female kickboxing, which is a great non-monotonous workout. Workouts can get kind of boring. Running on a treadmill can get boring. Kickboxing does not get boring. They have kids jiu-jitsu. What's that going to help them with? It's going to help them with confidence, mental focus, and a little bully prevention. We always see these kids getting beat up on school buses. Have your kid ready to beat up the bully. Then fourth, last but not least, they have women's only self-defense taught by a female instructor in a no men intimidation environment. They got 2 locations, one on Ridgecrest Drive in Madison and one in Fairmont Plaza in Pearl. You can check them out online at graciesouth.com. Men, women, and children all welcome. First week free, then 20% off if you tell them you heard it on the Clay Edwards Show. All right, I'm joined here in studio with Scott McCullough with Men's Health of Mississippi. Scott, kind of on my tangent there, it does feel like there's a war on masculinity in America, and I do think that, getting your testosterone levels back up, it really helps you find your manhood again in all aspects of your life. Oh
yeah, I mean, guys, they'll go to work and provide for their families, and I get talking to patients a lot of times, and they'll be like, yeah, I go to work and I come home and I'm just so tired I don't want to do anything. A lot of times getting on testosterone therapy, they'll be able to go to work and do great at work and provide for their families, but also when they get home, they'll be able to, be present as a husband and as a father, and be there for their family too, not just in a provisional way.
No, exactly. Look, and the old saying, happy wife, happy life.
Oh, yeah. It's real true.
It really is. And I'm telling you, the trickle-down effect of getting your testosterone back right is immeasurable. It may be the single, I don't know if you want to call it medical, medicine, whatever, but it may be the single thing as a mid-40s dude that you can do for yourself that you're going to see more results from than outside of going to the gym and getting in shape.
Right.
Yeah, which this is going to help you do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gets you more motivated to get back in the gym and get back in shape. So, yeah.
All right, so we got some questions on the Guns and Gear text line. One of my buddies would like to remain anonymous. Says, Ask him, how does it affect male pattern baldness and the presence of DHT in the body?
Yeah. So, one of the kind of risk or side effects of testosterone therapy is losing your hair. Now, it's one of those things that if you're prone to hair loss, it's a lot more likely to happen. It's not something that's just going to, make you go bald. And, but, as far as the DHT levels go, we monitor DHT levels, especially when you're on testosterone and any medicine that prevents hair loss.
Right. So, if you're prone for it, it could accelerate it. If you're not, you really ain't got much to worry about.
Typically, yeah. Every case every person's a specific case, but generally that's correct.
So one of the things that I've seen, and just again, full transparency, I have 6 weeks in on my lifetime cycle, I guess, is I have had a few like massive zits break out, bumps, individual, but not like clusters per se, but like a big bump on the back of my neck, a big bump on my back. Mm-hmm. I haven't had anything on my face. But when you first kind of start waking things back up and you get that testosterone flowing through your body, it can cause you to break out. And I guess the longer you do it, that tends to go away.
It seems like that. Yeah. Whenever you start adjusting the hormone levels in your body, of course you can get acne. Typically it'll kind of level out and it won't be an issue. It can be an estrogen issue from being on testosterone, and that be a hormonal issue, and then your physician can control the estrogen levels if it is a hormonal thing. But yeah, typically the acne will clear on up. And
one of the things that a clinic like you guys are able to do, if that happens, you can call in a compounded acne treatment of some sort.
Oh yeah, we can put you on medicine for acne. We can do creams or oral medicines. Any physician can do that.
Okay, well, let's take a call here real quick. Hey, caller, you're on there with Scott and Clay.
Good morning, Clay. This is Jason. I told you I'd be glad whenever you got him in to talk about this. So just started a testosterone replacement therapy with my general practitioner. And Clay, whenever you said your numbers were in the 400s, my test was 202. And as 43 years old, that, when I took my first injection on Thursday of last week, about how long, and I know it depends on each person, will it be till you get a sense of a normal testosterone level?
So speaking from my personal experience, you're looking at anywhere from, they say, some people say you start seeing results as early as 10 days on some stuff, but it can be 8 to 12 weeks or so before you kind of start. That seems to be the general consensus, 8 to 12 weeks before it really gets into your system good, and you can start seeing a true change.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of times it'll be people can start to kind of tell a difference around 3 to 4 weeks. It seems like, and then the 8 to 12 is when it really peaks and then levels out from there.
Okay, because like I said, I'm just going through my general practitioner that has a good idea of what this would do, but I think I may be leaning towards someone that pretty much specializes in that instead of just hey, we'll throw something to the wall and see what sticks and see if it makes it better.
Yeah, I mean, what I would do is, but just again, no medical advice here, just Clay's opinion. What he would do is run it for a few weeks until you go back and get your second blood work, because you should be doing blood work again after 8 weeks, Scott?
Anywhere from typically 4 to 12 weeks for the second blood work.
Yeah, kind of go back.
I'm going in 6 weeks.
Yep. But yeah, I would just at that point maybe see where you're at and evaluate from there, and maybe go out there and see our guys.
All right.
Thanks,
guys.
Jason.
Have a great day.
You too. All right, Jason, appreciate the call this morning. If you guys got any questions, give us a call, 601-879-0002. Some of the other questions that we got here this morning, Amber texted in, and let me find her text here real quick. She goes, ask him, okay, this is something I have seen some floating around. Says, what are there any increase in cancer risk with TRT?
Not necessarily. It's one of those things, if you have a history of prostate cancer, or males can get breast cancer, so if they have, or women as well, if they have a history of breast cancer, testosterone therapy is typically contraindicated in that.
Okay, so say that again.
So if men have a history of prostate cancer or breast cancer, and then women have a history of breast cancer, it's testosterone therapy is typically contraindicated.
Gotcha. All right, let's see if we got any more questions this morning. Let's see. Dustin, thoughts on HCG use on TRT? Most say it's mandatory to keep that area functioning. Some say absolutely not. My primary doesn't have me on it and said it's totally not needed, and you want to keep things as natural as possible. Only test and AI.
AI is it's a aromatizing inhibitor. We typically say estrogen blocker because it's easier to understand, but it's the same principle.
And what is HCG?
HCG is what keeps you fertile. It's essentially while you're on testosterone therapy. It keeps your pituitary gland functioning and sending the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone that helps keep you fertile.
Gotcha. And I've made it clear that I have no interest in being fertile. So these are things that do not concern me.
It's just a nice side effect.
Yeah, exactly. It's a nice side of it. I have no interest in any more little clays running around. I'm looking forward to being a grandfather in 10 years. I don't want to raise anymore. But so that is kind of one of the side effects potentially is lack of fertility.
Right. That's one thing if you start testosterone therapy that you want to be aware of on the front end is that, infertility is a risk. But that's where that HCG comes in. Taking HCG while you're on testosterone therapy will typically, help keep you fertile.
And that's something you guys can, y'all can do there too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, any physician that's doing TRT will typically do HCG or can do HCG if it's needed.
Okay. Tell you what, let's take a break real quick. When we come back, I want to talk about some of the other stuff y'all offer out there, like primary care physician stuff. Y'all do a membership thing. Y'all have all kind of great stuff available out there outside of just the TRT. As weight loss management, all kind of great things going on over there. So this is Clay Edwards Show. This is the Clay Edwards Show. Joining here with Scott McCullough this morning. We'll be right back live in the McCullough W studios on 103.9 WYAB. And rules when necessary. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. This segment is going to be brought to you by Stonington Farm Beef. They're going to be up here in the central Mississippi area, making 3 different stops in Florence, Brandon, and Ridgeland on Friday, March 17th. So get your orders in now at stoningtonfarm.com. That's Stonington Farm Beef, the grass-fed difference, 100% grass-fed, 100% grass-finished beef, hormone-free, right out of Perkinston, Mississippi. That's Stonington Farm. Go to the website, stoningtonfarm.com with 2 N's, and get the phone number there. Give Miss Katie Stonington a call and get your order in. You can buy individual. You can customize your order, and they do offer the quarter cows, half cows, full cows, all that stuff, and get with them on all that information. I recommend the custom built order. I'm gonna give me some ribeyes and some ground beef and a few other things. You can too. I'm gonna tell you, man. I switched over to the grass fed beef about a month ago. It's gonna be hard to go back to store bought beef if I ever have to. So take advantage of it while you can. StoningtonFarm.com. All right, I'm joined in the studio this morning with Scott McCullough from Men's Health of Mississippi, or Man Up MD and Women Up MD.
Well, Women's Wellness in Mississippi.
Women's Wellness. Well, the logo's kind of similar.
It is. It's a very similar logo.
And hey, look, if you're a woman out there and you're interested in this kind of stuff, they do Botox. They got all kind of stuff up there for the women.
Oh yeah, we've got all kind of aesthetic stuff that Dr. Walker handles. There's Botox. We do fillers. We've got an M-Sculpt machine that's really, really cool. Great for burning fat and building muscle. I'll be honest, that's what the woman's land up there, and I know we do a lot. I don't know all the details.
It's worth checking out. Honestly, I've got a couple friends that are taking advantage of it, and I don't understand Botox language, but apparently if you're taking advantage of their monthly membership, it makes the Botox very affordable.
Yes, and I believe upstairs has a free monthly membership that makes Botox very affordable.
Yeah. So explain the membership concept. Y'all have it downstairs on the men's side, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Kind of explain how that works.
So instead of the traditional like medical system where you go in and see the provider, pay a copay, provider bills, insurance, the way that we have it here, the way that the way that we have it at the clinic and Dr. Walker set it up, it's a monthly program to where you pay a certain amount each month and you get unlimited access to us as providers. There's no copay, no office visit fees. There's fees if you get a Procephin shot or a Decadron shot, you pay for that, but the prices are super affordable for all that.
Yeah, I mean, so for example, and again, this is just my personal experience here, not giving anybody any advice. I've used a personal care physician, same one for a while now, and I'm currently out here skating fate without insurance, without health insurance. So those doctor visits can get pretty expensive. I think when I went and found out I had flu COVID back New Year's Eve, it cost me $300 to find out that they couldn't do anything for me.
Right.
And I was like, well, we had to get, and of course they don't, the COVID test was free. The flu test cost money. And then they, of course, still charged me for the doctor visit, even though I wasn't even allowed to get out of my car. And all they did was call some medicine in. I'm like, $300 later to basically find out there's nothing I can do. And, so that was frustrating, and I, without getting into the financials, they just need to get in touch with you guys to, find all that out. I don't want to drag you down that rabbit hole, but trust me when I tell you, it's affordable. It is. The testosterone replacement is really what I just thought it was going to be this. That's going to cost me $1,000. There's no way anything that does that much is going to be in my price range without insurance or anything like that. And I don't know that insurance would cover that anyway or not. Would it?
No, not typically. It depends on the insurance that you have. Depends on the policy. Sometimes sometimes the insurance will cover the testosterone. Most of the time, it won't. But typically, just the cash price at most all pharmacies around here, whether it be mom and pop pharmacies or big name pharmacies, somewhere in the ballpark of $40 to $60, and that's for anywhere from depending on your dosage, of 10 to 16 week supply.
Yeah.
So, you're looking at a 2.5 to 4 month supply.
So now that we've gone down that I think I was all in at the blood work and everything, $250 or so. I mean, with my supply, my syringes, the whole 9 yards, it was way more affordable than I thought. And the ROI that I've gotten on it, I'm more focused at work. Because I'm stuck at a computer all day for the most part at work, sitting at the car dealership, unless somebody's actually buying a car. I'm not losing focus. I've quit buying the 5-hour energies because I'm not hitting that afternoon lull.
Right.
It's just little things that add up. And you start noticing. Sure. I mean, for me, I've never considered myself ADD, but I do lose focus and stuff, like just sitting around bored. Man, this has got me. I'm working customers better. I'm following up. It's just little stuff, the little motivation that you don't realize you lost.
It's more energy and more drive, and that turns into better focus.
Let's transition just a little bit here, but it's kind of staying on TRT. A lot of the questions I get are the forms of ways to take it. I chose just to give myself the shot once a week.
Right.
I've had, obviously, there's the pellet thing, which for men, you have to put so many in, I guess, that it's almost not worth it to do the pellets.
Well, it depends on what you're after. The pellets are they're very convenient because it's a one-time procedure, and then they stay in you. Typically, again, depending on your dosage, men do require a lot of pellets, and it can be uncomfortable, and it can also be fairly costly as well.
And if you're not familiar with what we're talking about with pellets, because I'll be honest, I was not either until a friend of mine a couple of years ago got them, and they basically make an incision in your top of your butt, your hip area, same place you would inject a needle, and they put these little pellets in there, and they're exactly what they sound like, pellets.
It looks like little, about the size of maybe rabbit feed or so, little pellet.
Yeah. If you had a pellet smoker, you know what your pellets look like. Kind of the same thing. I mean, size-wise anyway. And they go in you, and it takes a little while. The crank-up time takes a little while longer potentially with the pellets, right? As far as like getting into your system?
I would... Yeah, it does, not necessarily a whole lot longer, but it takes a little bit longer than the injection or the topical.
And then I was going to say, then there's the injection, which is self-explanatory, a syringe, and then there's topical also. But one of the potentially negative side effects I heard about the topical is you can rub that off onto your significant other or a young child or something, anybody you're in physical contact with.
Right, yeah. Typically people that are using the topicals, they just want to be sure not to rub up against another person in the area they put the topical on for a period of time.
Avoid forearms.
Yeah, avoid forearms. But typically people apply it to their shoulders anyway, which isn't, an area touched a lot.
And I mean, and on that, and again, we kind of talked yesterday a little bit with the compounding pharmacy. You can adjust the dosage on the topical, which I wasn't aware of. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, some people require significantly more testosterone, and just the amount of medicine or the amount of cream in the commercially available product, sometimes it can just be too much in volume. And, then they can have it compounded to a more concentrated cream. So it's the same amount of medicine they need, just less volume. So it's not as messy. All
right. Now let's bring this back into the manosphere here. Guys, I'm just going to tell you, there's, as a guy, I like to, last time I checked, I still check man on the box. One of the things as we get older, and I talked about the morning wood thing earlier being a sign that you may have low testosterone, but erectile dysfunction, it's obviously affects a lot of people. The testosterone can absolutely help with that. But aside from that, if you're not comfortable with testosterone, or your testosterone levels are fine and you are still having some problems in the bedroom, happy wife, happy life, my friends. Look, it's good to have a man like Scott to sit down with and say, "Hey, I need some of them little blue pills," and y'all offer that as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, we offer erectile dysfunction treatment. And it's funny you say the thing about happy wife, happy life. I have a lot of wives call me making appointments for their husbands,
trying to save that marriage.
You're right. So I have a lot of women calling me just to make appointments for their husbands.
Hey, let me tell you, man, it's one of those taboo things that people are scared to talk about. And that's what I try to do here on the show is talk about the things that I know. It's reality radio, and talk about real life things, that I know we all go through. And if I'm talking about it and I'm co-signing on it, there's a good chance I have probably dealt with it myself. And let's just say, happy wife, happy life, or happy significant other, happy life.
That's right.
Again, that you read a bunch of books and studies and this, that, and the other about marriages ending and stuff, and it's because somebody stepped out or whatever, or the wife stepped out because the husband wasn't pleasing. I mean, you can avoid that by getting on. If you haven't, if erectile dysfunction is an issue, it can cause a lot of issues.
Oh, it's definitely a trickle effect.
Exactly, and again, I know it's an uncomfortable conversation, but it's one worth having. Miss Sylvia texts in on the Guns and Gear text line, says, "I'm just too young for this show." All right, look, man, let's take our last break, come back, land the plane for the day with Scott with Men's Health of Mississippi, and got a few final questions for him, and kind of wrap up what we're doing here today. This is the Clay Edwards Show. If you have any questions, text them in. 769-241-1944 is the Guns and Gear text line. Or give us a call, 601-879-0002. We'll be right back. Welcome back into the Clay Edwards Show. I'm live here in the Mac Hike of Flowwood Studios, wrapping up with Scott McCullough from Men's Health in Mississippi. Coming up here in the next hour, it's our Whole Story Health Hour with Allison Noe. Should be a good show. Don't know what Allison's got up her sleeve today, but I have really enjoyed the previous 5 or 6 or 7 of those that we've done. I don't expect today to be any different. Scott, one of the things that y'all offer or fixing to be offering out there is laser tattoo removal. And I know that's going to be a very popular thing for people who got in bad relationships and got some Chad's name tattooed on them or some Ashley's name tattooed on them. And it's like, I got to get this off.
Yeah. So within the next, I'd say month, should be less, we should be up and running with the laser. And it's not just for members. It'll be, anybody can make an appointment.
That's going to be cool. And will members get a special rate on that kind of stuff, or just members get a special rate on everything y'all do? Or
yeah, typically members will always get better rates. But
kind of stuff.
But even with that being said, our pricing on the laser will be very competitive for the area.
I like that. That's going to be a big one for y'all. I really think so.
I hope so.
So something else, without getting into the specific medications and stuff, y'all do offer things to battle the bulge as well, and weight loss and stuff of that nature.
Yeah. We offer the normal weight loss things that any regular primary care clinic would.
All right, good stuff there. All right, so in closing with Scott, man, one of the big questions I get a lot, Scott, is if I start testosterone replacement, do I have to do it the rest of my life?
You need to go into it with the outlook of having to do it for the rest of your life. In the future, if you needed to come off of it for whatever reason, there's ways that typically you can come off of it. But the short answer is you need to consider it a lifelong commitment.
And why wouldn't you want to? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you shouldn't be started on it unless your levels are low and other levels match the low testosterone. So it's something you would need.
Yeah, I mean, so look out there, guys. If you're 19, 20 years old, under 30 years old, listening to this right now, you're probably not a candidate. Unless you've got some of these issues. There's some real signs. See your physician, get your blood levels checked. Don't just don't be doing it just as a performance enhancer. You do it because you need it. And I'm telling you, it has been an absolute game changer for me. I've watched my productivity in every aspect of my life slowly rise up over the last few weeks, and I'm looking forward to seeing how I feel week 12, week 16, a year from today. I mean, that's what I'm really starting to get excited about. And,
you'll feel a lot better, younger, more energy.
I mean, look, I'm just saying, working out. My workouts seem my workouts seem extremely more focused right now.
Yeah, optimizing your testosterone levels. It helps with body composition, building muscle, losing fat, just getting your hormones back where they need to be and optimized for your age.
I put on a T-shirt the other day, Saturday, that I hadn't never thought I'd fit into again, and went out and was like, man, I feel good. It's like
look good,
feel good, play good, play good. Right. The pay is good. I've quoted that. I think Dion may have said that. I ain't sure. All right, Scott, real quick, what's y'all's website?
Our website is menshealthms.com, and you can also go I believe you can go to manupmd.com as well, but definitely menshealthms.com.
All right, Scott, appreciate you. I got a whole other hour to go. We'll see y'all right back on the other side of this break. Peace.
Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow at 7 a.m. as the Clay Edwards Show discusses all that is going on in and around the city of Jackson.
This concludes our broadcast day.
Right here on 103.9 WYAB.